Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go!
And welcome to this installment of Ballsy Uncut. Kind of treating this almost like a pregame show for the Riders game tonight against the Hamilton Ticats. Let me adjust my camera for a second here. A little bit of a screw up there. But before we get to CFL football in our talk here, I wanted to just mention, of course, 2 games today in the CFL, but the other big sporting event, the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Florida Panthers tonight, 6 o'clock face-off, probably closer to 6:20 Saskatchewan time. This is going down as the ultimate Stanley Cup final. 3 of the 4 games go to overtime, including 4 overtime periods because you had the one go to double overtime. 5-4 Oilers down 3-0, come back, win it 5-4 in overtime. And it's funny, game 2 saw Florida have the lead. The Oilers come back, tie it late, and then Florida wins it in double overtime on a rush-up ice, a breakaway, Brad Marchand. Then the Oilers get whipped in game 3, and in game 4, the last game, down 3-0. They have a 4-3 lead. Florida ties it with like 19 seconds left and a goal by Reinhart, and then the Oilers win it on a rush-up ice in overtime on kind of the greasy one, but a well-deserved and hard-earned goal by Leon Draisaitl. So Oilers tonight against Florida, and it should be another great one. The city's going to be jumping, as they say, in Edmonton, the Alberta capital. I think the Oilers win this one, and I think the Oilers lose in Florida and then win in Game 7. I'm an Oiler fan, and my son and I were talking, and my cousin, we are in a group chat for every game. It's like, they got to win, they got to win. I'm like, they got to win, but they got 2 chances to win 1 game because the Oilers aren't going to lose in Edmonton. I don't see it happening. I do not see the Oilers losing in Edmonton. Now, watch, they'll probably lay an egg tonight, but I don't see them losing a game in Edmonton. So I think they'll take it in 7, and I'm going to go one step further. Much like the Four Nations face-off, I think it'll be Connor McDavid in overtime for his first ever Stanley Cup. Just like he scored in the Four Nations, finally getting to play in best-on-best international play as a pro. So that's how I see it. Should be a good game tonight. Also, the other big sporting thing, you can kind of see my shirt here. Regina Red Sox baseball. Big announcement. Sean Semple, owner of the Regina Pats. He is, of course, the big cheese with the Queen City Sports and Entertainment Group. They have bought the Regina Red Sox. Al Simpson, a friend of this show. Sean's a friend of mine, too. Al's a minority owner. Sean and the Queen City Sports and Entertainment Group, the majority owner, and you can bet now there will be a push for a new stadium. If I know Sean Semple, and I do, he's not going to be happy having his team play at Curry Field. I'm actually surprised the Pats haven't started to build a new rink yet. I'm sure that's coming too. But yeah, Sean Semple, Al Simpson, owners, the Queen City Sports and Entertainment Group of the Regina Red Sox. We'll have Gary Brotzlaw, the team president, early next week to talk about it. All right. Coming up, we'll break down this game for you. Coming up, the Riders and the Hamilton Ticats. But first, a chat I had with Riders receiver Sam Emilus, who's emerging or hoping to continue his trajectory as a top receiver in the Canadian Football League. This is Ballsy Uncut, kind of the pregame show edition. Sam Emilus, welcome to the show. I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Hey, so game number 1, talk about how you felt there. 8 grabs, 133 yards, and a win over Ottawa.
Yeah, feel like we had to start the year of the right foot. Home opener, season opener, so we just had to bring that energy and come out and get the win. And that's exactly what we did.
So coming into this year, Sam, did you obviously probably set personal goals. Was there something you wanted to do to take your game to the next level? Because I feel like the trajectory of your game is going up, but if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. So what did you want to do better this year?
A couple of things. Obviously, just the speed of the game being more fast, making faster decision,
Hmm.
recognizing the defense when I know what they're doing.
Hmm.
Contested catch, ability to have gain yard after the catch.
Hmm.
Things of that nature, but also just being myself also and knowing what I got to improve, what did I lack last year, and basically just being a complete receiver.
My favorite position growing up was the receiver position, so I kind of like watching that position. One thing I like about you, it's underappreciated. You're actually a physical specimen. Like I wouldn't say you're like 6'4", but 6'1", 200
Right.
some pounds, and you love to block. And I really noticed in that game, yeah, 8 catches for 133 yards. You're a receiver, but the blocking element has always been a favorite of mine of your game.
No, for sure. Started back in college. To get on the field, my receiver coach said, you need to block."
Yeah.
So it started with this, and I always say, what like you gonna get the ball 5, 6 times, you probably gonna get 6 catches. What are you gonna do the rest of the 50 plays? I always say that. So I kind of find a love for blocking, and it just kind of willing to block, and if you're willing to block, you're gonna do just fine.
So, receivers always want to get the ball. I get it. Like you said, you're not always getting the ball, but would 8 be about your wheelhouse where you're feeling into the game where you get 8 or 9 targets?
Yeah, most definitely. Even if I don't get the targets, being physical, being involved in a running game, keep you in the game. Keep you feeling in the game. So I like being involved. Obviously, getting the ball, but also being able to block for my guys because the whole line they block for me. So it's about giving back also.
Talk about the resilience of this team because you guys have had a lot of injuries early on, and then you had some in that ball game. But where does that resiliency come from? Does it start with the head coach? Just talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, like you just said, it started with Mace. Next man up mentality. In a receiver group, also, we all accountable. So we all know that unfortunately injuries is part of the game, and when it's your time to step up, we expect you to know the assignment and just from being accountable, the guys that are stepping in are stepping up. So obviously that kind of helped, and yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
So, Trevor Harris has talked about having the same offense, the same offensive coordinator, how that helps him out. How does that help you out having Mark Mueller in place, having the same OC 2 years in a row?
Yeah, for sure. Just second year in the system, I'm able to play faster. I know my assignment. I ain't gonna say I know all of my assignment, but I know most of the assignment, or I seen it last year. So obviously that's making me able to play faster and being comfortable in the system. Like when Coach Colin plays, like I know what he trying to get out of it, and that's something the hardest part to do for receivers, knowing why Coach Colin this play.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, here's something, too. You do in college go through game tape, but I've heard from guys they learn a different level of watching film when they get to the pros. Now, you're, into your third year or whatever. What is that part of your game taking a step forward? Where, like you said, you're playing fast because you've watched film, you maybe know how that DB plays or the spots you got to get to, spacing and everything like that.
Yeah, you just touch on it. Just watching film, I had a coach that was his favorite saying. They giving you the answer to the test, and I just love that. I just love that statement, and that's really true. Like you're gonna know the tendencies of the DBs or the defense you're going against. So when you face them, is not nothing surprising. So when you see it, you're able to play fast and make plays, and like I always said, like film is your biggest friend.
So, do you put any more pressure on yourself? Like your running mate KSB goes down, you got you got a little bit of moving parts in the receiving core. Do you put any more pressure on yourself when that happens, Sam?
Not really, not really. I have the utmost confidence in this receiver group, so I know the guy that gonna have to step up for Ken Schaefer Baker, gonna do it well. We all accountable. We all know that the ball gonna come your way eventually during the game. You just gotta keep having that feel for the game and know when your assignment. and when the ball come your way, you made a play, and we're gonna get out with a W.
Hey, coming up through the ranks, who did you kind of emulate your game after? Was there a receiver you looked up to, either like in the CFL or the NFL when you were coming up?
Yeah, growing up, I was a Montreal Alouettes fan, and I was looking up to S.J. Green, Jamil Richardson, Van Cahoon, uh, Steve Smith in the NFL. A lot of guys really, and that's why I got my game a little bit from, like S.J. Green, Steve Smith, and and Randy Moss. Also, I used to watch him a lot. That's my favorite receiver. So
Yeah.
just growing up, just picking up few things that I like from their game and trying to emulate.
You know, I like the fact that you're a young guy and you quote CFL guys, because a lot of guys I ask, they say, well, I like Luke Kuechly, or I like this guy, or I like that guy. But you have an appreciation for the CFL growing up in Montreal. So I kind of like that. You know, this is a big deal. You treat this like a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. I think first football game I ever watched was CFL, was the Montreal Alouettes, and they were winning. They were I think they was going to Grey Cup, like I think they were like a dynasty at that time. Like
Yeah.
they was going to the Grey Cup a lot. So
Yeah.
obviously I had to watch them. I had to watch them, and just seeing the players, that's when I love watching SJ Green play. And like you just said, like it started with the CFL for me watching football.
Two more quick questions for you. What's your favorite route? What's the run route? One route nobody can cover you on. Your money route.
All right. There's a lot of them they can't cover. I'm gonna say that.
Do you have a
But
favorite one?
I'm gonna just say just to keep it, really just a go ball. Like
Yeah.
any DBs they hate giving go ball. So I'm gonna just say go ball.
I was on the call of the one. Remember, I think was it Mason Fine throwing that one up to you a couple years ago at the Hail Mary down in the end zone there, where you made that unbelievable catch. Just
Was it you talking about Ottawa, or the one against
Yeah,
BC?
it was. I think it was Ottawa. Yeah, I can't remember, but it was a beautiful throw down the sidelines there, and you made the great catch. And
Okay. Yeah, appreciate- yeah.
It's what's it like when you're going up for a goal ball there? What's that mentality like? It's you against him, and you're fighting for the ball.
Yeah, I mean, every time the ball in the air, I know how to. I personally, I know how to. I gotta come down to it. It's like it's either I come down with it, or I either come down with it. To be honest, so whenever the ball in the air, it's just a mentality that I know, like it's my ball. Like the quarterback trusts me enough to throw me the ball, so I just got to make the play. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, so lastly, before I let you go, without giving too many trade secrets away, what are you seeing from the Hamilton Tiger Cats defense? And you know they're going to be jacked up, down 0-1 in the season in their home opener.
Yeah, for sure. You just touch on it. This is gonna be home opening for them. I know the defense gonna bring a lot of energy. They're gonna feed off the fans. It's just for us to get ready for it. What we seen on film, what we think they're gonna do, what they think they're trying to accomplish, and be ready for the counter. So obviously it's gonna be a battle. Obviously going to the hammer is never easy to win over there. But we had a great week of practice, and we're gonna be ready for the challenge.
And your body's feeling good?
Yeah, my body feeling great.
Awesome, man. Hey, best of luck. Thanks for taking time out of your schedule. Safe travels and continued success. Everybody's talking about you as an elite receiver, and probably in your mind as an alpha dog, you're like, I always knew I was elite.
You just said it. I always knew it, but hey, if I gotta keep being the underdog or underrated, I take that role. I just shine under the light.
Hey, man, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
As we talk here, 2 games already in the books in the CFL. Bombers open up their season at home against the BC Lions. Now, the Bombers were off. The Lions on a short week. They came in. Lions were overwhelmed. Nathan Rourke leaves the game late with an oblique injury. He's going to try to practice and see how it feels. Still not ruled out to play in the return match against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Saturday at BC Place. For the Bombers, Chris Strevler played his best game as a quarterback in the CFL, threw for 3 touchdown passes. And I've got some flesh and blood now with the Bombers. That just goes to show you I'm not picking Winnipeg every week. I'm trying to make this a fair and straight up show. My 2 favorite teams were the Riders and the Lions, and I still like the Riders. I still have friends on the team, but I'm going to go Bombers and Lions as my 2 favorite teams in the CFL right now. Like I said, still have a soft spot for the green and white. So anyway, that was a battle of my 2 favorite teams. I picked the Lions to win. I thought you got a starting quarterback against a backup guy who came back early, and that speaks to the toughness and the intestinal fortitude, as Gorilla Monsoon, the old wrestler/wrestling announcer, used to say, of Chris Strevler to come back early from a totally shredded knee when Miles Brown of the Riders hit him or fell into him in the Banjo Bowl there last year. So, Strevler throws for 3 touchdown passes, and the Bombers roll the BC Lions 34-20. Now they get Zach Collaros back, but they do have an issue with their outstanding running back, Brady Oliveira, with that injured shoulder. Don't know the extent yet. Going to get some further evaluation, but it's safe to say he won't be playing this game against BC. Matthew Peterson, the U of A Golden Bear, former CanWest Player of the Year for Chris Morse's Golden Bears, rushed for over 130 yards in that game. Testament to him on a nice long touchdown run, but to that great offensive line. Man, if they stay healthy, they're the best offensive line in the CFL. The other game this week so far that was played, the Montreal Alouettes, Davis Alexander throws for over 300 yards to get another defensive touchdown. This time from Wesley Sutton on a deflected ball. Oakman deflects it. Sutton picks it off, takes it back for a touchdown. The Montreal Alouettes hammered the Ottawa Redblacks. I think the final score was 39-18. Man, that is a great football team. They are talented. They've got a lot of Canadian talent and Canadian depth, and the formula has never changed, and don't let anybody tell you it's changed. You got to have a good quarterback, good to great quarterback, and you got to have great Canadian talent. And the Alouettes have great Canadian talent, and it looks like Davis Alexander, like Danny Machocha and Jason Moss, knew what they were doing. Coming up with Davis Alexander as the quarterback, bringing in McLeod Bethel Thompson and sending Cody to Edmonton. Montreal travels to Edmonton next week. Ottawa off to an 0-2 start. They were 7-1-2, I believe, on home turf last year. The only team they lost to, the Montreal Alouettes in Ottawa. In fact, Montreal hasn't lost in Ottawa since 2018. So you've got Montreal off to a now 2-0 start, beating Toronto and beating Ottawa. Ottawa goes to Calgary. Calgary's in action today against the Toronto Argonauts. I got Calgary winning this game. I think Vernon Adams is going to have a big game on the road for the Stampeders versus Nick Arbuckle and the Toronto Argonauts. One thing, you don't really have to take the crowd out of it. I know the Argos don't get big crowds, but they get pretty passionate crowds going to the games. And they're the defending Grey Cup champs. First 10,000 fans get a I don't say knockoff ring, but a symbolic Grey Cup ring for the fans. So that's cool. Hopefully they get 10,000 fans as they honor the defending Grey Cup champion Toronto Argonauts. That's the only stadium I've never been to, because the 2 times I was the voice of the Riders, they played the Argos in Atlantic Canada in the Atlantic Bowl. But hoping to see a good crowd there for the Calgary-Toronto game today. And then, of course, we've got the Ballsy's best bets, by the way. I've got I picked the Lions to win, picked the Owls to win, so I'm 1-1. Today I got Calgary, and I've got Saskatchewan winning this game over Hamilton, but it won't be easy. Let's go through some of the news and notes of this game as we tee things up. Thomas Bertrand-Houdon was banged up, didn't practice a lot this week, if at all. I wasn't at practice. Busy on the car lot. But Thomas Bertrand-Houdon, CJ Avery, Peyton Collins, and Kean Schaefer-Baker all out. In Jackson Ford, in running back Kadeem Carey, in offensive lineman Jacob Brammer, whose back is still, I'm not sure it's exactly 100%, but he's in. And Robert Mims' kid, Deshaun Mims, becomes the 17th Ram since they joined the U of R to suit up for the Riders. That's according to the historian of the Rough Riders, Rob Vanstone. Thanks to Rob for that. So Deshaun Mims, the receiver formerly of the Rams, gets to dress for the Riders for the first time in a regular season game. So looking forward to that. And Roland Milligan returns in the secondary, which will be big going up against Bo Levi Mitchell and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Both threw for 300 yards against Calgary last week, but a lot of it was in comeback garbage time. He's hoping to get off to a better start. And let's talk about, like I said, some of the news and notes for this game. The two CFL leaders in combined yards go head-to-head in this game. At least they were after week one. Mario Alford led all players with 217 total yards. Isaiah Wooden of the Tiger Cats had 214. Of those 214, Wooden had 105 on the only kick return touchdown last week. Riders defeated Ottawa in week one despite being -2 in the takeaway giveaway category. They were a CFL best plus 26 last season by a wide margin. So you know that head coach Corey Mace wants to see that turn around very quickly. Mark Leggio made 89.6% of his field goal attempts last season. He's the number 2 all-time field goal percentage by a Ticat. Seth Small, 90.7 in 2022. Leggio has a current active streak of 18 straight field goals made. As far as Bo Levi Mitchell, he brings a winning percentage of .709 into this game and remains number 3 all-time despite last week's defeat at Calgary. In that game, he tied a career-high 50 pass attempts on 31 completions. And, as far as quarterbacks fastest to 100 wins, Bo Levi Mitchell needs 1 win to reach 100 for his career. 99-40-2 has an opportunity to become the fastest player to 100 victories with the fewest starts. When you look at it right now, Ron Lancaster had 158 wins, 92 losses, and 7 ties. He got to 100 wins in 149 games. Tracy Ham, 100 wins in 151. Matt Dunnigan, 100 wins in game 165. So, we'll see what Bo Levi Mitchell does here today, going for career win 100. All right. The clubs have met 103 times since 1961. The Riders hold the 56-43 edge with 4 ties. Saskatchewan has won the last 2 of 9. They've won the last 2 and 9 of the previous 13 dating back to 2017. In Hamilton, they won their last visit but dropped the previous 3 games, so they're 1-3 since 2019. Samuel Emilus, who we heard from, tied Justin Hardy after week 1 with 133 yards for best receiving performance in week 1, so we'll see if he can add to that. The Tiger Cats have not allowed any sacks so far. They didn't give up a sack last week. Some other news and notes. Tim White reached the 300 reception mark for his CFL career last week. He's gone over 1,100 receiving yards in each of the last 3 years. Only one other Tiger Cat has ever done that, Darren Flutie, 4 straight 1,100-plus yard seasons from 1998 to 2001. Malik Carney, speaking of quarterback sacks, the only CFL player to record more than 1 sack last week. And I had a stat on Trevor Harris. Here we go. Trevor Harris brings a streak of 5 straight wins as a starter, his longest career win streak. He enters the game 59, 52-2 with a 531 mark as a starter for 5 different teams. With the Riders, he's 11-6 in 17 career starts. That includes 2-0 versus Hamilton. So Trevor Harris hoping to continue that great success. And what else? That's all we really needed to say. Rough Riders, Hamilton Tiger Cats. I've got the Riders winning this one. Something like, I'm going to say 28-25. Rough Riders win this one. I think in this league, you should be able to score 3 offensive touchdowns, or it wasn't that great a day on offense, the way the rules are called for the offense and against the defense. Riders gave up over 400 yards passing to Drew Brown, so they better be better. But Bo Levi Mitchell and the Hamilton offense needs to be better so they're not chasing the game against Trevor Harris and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. A reminder, you see that shirt over my shoulder? We'll be coming to you live from Gerhardt Studios tonight right after the game. Myself, along with Kai Bear, the former CFLer, played with a number of teams, most notably Montreal and Winnipeg. He will be he was a Tiger Cat too. Ottawa, Red Black, and a Renegade. We will take your calls after the game. Rider fans, Ticat fans, CFL fans. We're going to talk about all the games and all the happenings in the 4 games going on this week, but focusing a lot on the Rough Riders and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It's the Our Balls Are Bigger postgame show, wherever you find Ballsy Uncut. X, Facebook, YouTube. Get some clips later on too, on Instagram, but you primarily check it out, X, Facebook, and YouTube, or at the website, ballsyuncut.ca. All the links are there. So this has kind of been a little mini pregame show, Riders and the Hamilton Tiger Cats from Steeltown. Enjoy the game, and we'll talk to you after. A reminder, check us out after the ball game.